Hey there, YouTube. Welcome to Big Mike Beard Wisdom. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the joys of an older house. And in this situation, we've got a little bit of standing water back here. So this is a little area that's just underneath the kitchen, and it's where we've got like the reverse osmosis stuff. And way over there is a sump pump that someone put in. It's essentially like a bucket, and the sump pump sits down there. The problem that we had is that apparently this electrical routing is a little crazy. So really I've been meaning to do a lot of stuff down here in the basement because it's a little bit creepy down here. There's pipes that go kind of nowhere. They just kind of dead end. There's all sorts of wires. There's the old knob and tube stuff that's hanging out that hopefully doesn't actually go anywhere. But this right here is where it's got the sump pump ran. So this goes all the way down and around and up this way. And then it actually tripped the GFI up here. And because it tripped that GFI, this wasn't working. So that allowed that rear area to kind of flood out. And then you couldn't see that it was tripped either because of how this extension cord extends down and covers up that reset button. So it was basically one of those things where I came over here, went, well, that's kind of weird, wiggled this back a little bit, and the button popped out. So that's not super great. At least it was enough that it was able to pop and shut power off and not cause like a fire. But that's definitely something that needs to be changed. And then the previous owners more or less had that sump pump running into the front sump pump area. And this area here almost never fills with water except for like the water from like that back kitchen area. And the problem that I ran into was that essentially when this pump kicked on, it blew water out. But the major problem was that all the water came right back in. So this comes up here, goes out through the house, and then goes back underground and shoots out into the curb. So out here, you can pretty much see, comes out here, and it goes down in the ground. Luckily, it's got a little like T right here, so you can just take the little stopper out. That way it launches the water just straight right there. And I'm not too worried about it going right there, because again, this part of the house very rarely gets water on the inside enough to trigger that front sump pump. But definitely the first time I've had to crack this sucker open. So what I'll do real quick is I'll go double check the sidewalk area and see if maybe it's just covered up. And then straight out from the house right here is where the sump pump comes out. You can kind of see I've got a ton of like gutter shaped ice here. So it'd be interesting to see if that's actually fully blocked off, so if it's frozen in there, or if now it'll wind up spraying out. I'm just gonna screw this back in. The nice thing was that this was fairly loose, so it wasn't something where it was super tight. So good enough. All right, so back inside, let's go ahead and trigger it. So it does feel like it's kind of bouncing back through and coming right back in. So that ground's probably still pretty frozen outside. So I have to take that plug back out and let it run. This is definitely one of those things where first time I ever ran into it, if I ever do this again, essentially what I want to do is get like a hose kind of bib kind of setup for that stuff outside. That way I take that little plug out, throw the little hose bib in, route a hose somewhere farther away from the house than, you know, just launching right there. But if you guys want to run into an issue like this, it's something quick that you can kind of try to figure out. So hopefully you've got one of those plugs, just like I do, and you're able to kind of save the day before anything weird happens. So the water level is dropping steadily in here, so hopefully we're all good to go. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to like, subscribe, and I'll check you next time.